thewellnesscouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. Download the app today.
This is Up for a Chat with your hosts, Cindy O'Meara and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Cindy O'Meara, and Kim Morrison is AWOL, but she will be here in a very short period of time. But I have the most incredible guest, a guest that I've been wanting to interview for quite some time, or even meet for quite some time, and her name is Ali Oetjen. And I first heard about Ali when my daughter and I were watching The Bachelor. And this was years ago. And the reason we watched it is because there was a chiropractor who was The Bachelor. And being chiropractic in my family, I said to my daughter, all right, we got to watch this. We got to see where this guy goes. And I got to tell you, I fell in love with this Ali very much. She was a beautiful, bubbly personality, and which you will figure out when we start talking. So welcome, Ali. I know that, that was my introduction to you, but I have just loved your journey, what you've done, and where you are now. And so what I'd like to ask of you is how did you get here?
Hey, so nice to be here and have a chat with you guys. How did I get here? Well, I was really fortunate to have that experience because that's actually landed me the platform that I have today to be able to inspire people to live a more holistic life. So I'm really thankful for the past and where it's brought me. And now I'm on the Sunshine Coast and my parents live here, and I just find it's like the most amazing place to be, to live in the outdoors and experience all of what nature has to give us. And yeah, it's just the perfect place, I think.
I agree with you. We moved here, my husband and I, with a 6-month-old to the Sunshine Coast 35 years ago now. And we're on our way to our that young little baby's wedding at the moment. Thus, you can see the caravan behind me if anybody's watching this. But it is an amazing place to be. And I think it's got an incredible energy. And especially up in that hinterland area, there's a lot of talk about the energy that's up there. And I think it draws people like you who are interested in health, well-being, holistic way of living. And what would you say is the most holistic way of living for you? What are all the elements that you think in that?
Well, it comes down to every choice you're making, make it conscious. So that's just from where you're buying your food, making sure that it's organically sourced and not sprayed with pesticides, but also looking after local as well. Holistic, everything from what you eat to what you do daily. So that's all about your active, how much exercise you're doing, how much you're looking after your mindset, connecting with your heart and yourself, and that connection also connecting back to the land, and that going sort of full cycle almost. So whatever's in the best interest for your community, you and the planet. And with those choices that you make, I feel like then that's a holistic lifestyle.
I love it. It's exactly it. Yeah. My dad always used to say things like this. I like that man. He thinks like I do. And I'm sure that's why there must have been this resonance, is that that's exactly how I see holistic living, is that we are not only making a conscious decision to do something, think something, be somewhere, but we're also doing it not only for ourselves, but we're doing it for the planet, and we're doing it for our community as well, and our family, of course.
Yeah. So I think that's so important. Like, if the energy exchange is that of kindness, and is that of like, if you're making those decisions based on those awarenesses, then it's a good decision, and it's the best one.
No, I agree. It is the best decision.
Mm.
So, and take us back to, did you study anything through university? Take us back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it
Yeah.
always fascinates me. For me, I studied anthropology at university. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It just popped up and I went, oh, I'll do that. I was told
Yeah.
the lecturer was a brilliant lecturer. So that's what I did. So take us back to your, what did you study and what changed everything or what directed you in a certain way?
Yeah, well, even that's just interesting in the way that you said that. I've just been in the Cook Islands taking years 11s and 12s on a leadership program, on a leadership camp, and all of they're sort of in the mindset of like, after I finish school, I must go to university and then I must find a good job. And I brought a holistic approach to it where you don't have to go to university to be able to succeed or follow your dreams or be in alignment with your purpose. So that's sort of what I experienced after finishing year 12 in Adelaide in South Australia. I then just picked media, arts and communication as a broad degree, a 3-year degree. I should pick something. So I picked that. And then I did my first year of it and realized, this is really broad and what am I even wanting to do? And I think maybe I want to be in the media. And so I quit uni after a year and then just started working for a media company and then sort of told myself, oh, it's not what you know, it's who you know in this business. And then I just started from there, and I was a media and production assistant. And from there, that company actually said, hey, Ali, why don't you go for this Bachelor program? They've just come to Australia from America. And I'm like, what's the Bachelor? And
oh, so the Bachelor, I'm thinking a bachelor's degree.
Oh, no. This is how it actually all came about. Yeah. And then I ummed and ahed and not really knowing what it was. Then on the last day of applications, I just applied, at my laptop, at my desk, and then it all just went from there. I didn't even know really what I was signing up to, and then got interviews and then I was on the show, very naive because I hadn't even watched The Bachelor. I didn't really know what was in store. Definitely didn't know the ins and outs of the media world and the TV world and all that. So I went into that like a deer in the headlights, and that started my 9-year media career. Yeah. On a few programs here and there, and
Well, so let me know what programs you're on, because I watched The Bachelor and I never watched it again. And it wasn't because I didn't like it. I absolutely loved it. But just there were other things that were happening in my life and I never got to, sit down every day. And I guess I did it with my daughter, and then she moved away and went off to Spain and did all things like that. So please tell me what else you've been on. I didn't know.
I was on Humphrey Bear.
And Humphrey Bear is a kids program?
Yeah. So I was singing and dancing on that, which was really fun and good with the kids. And I was on SAS, that Special Forces show, and that was amazing. That really took me out of my comfort zone and grew me beyond my limits. Have you heard of that one?
I'm thinking SAS, you'd have to be fit and strong and everything like that. Yeah. I'll assume the SAS is they get you to do stuff like the SAS.
Yeah. So they put you through a 2-week course of a really similar course of what the SAS soldiers would do.
Yep.
And it was very challenging, more so in the mindset, because it wasn't just challenging physically, it was sleep deprivation, it was food deprivation. They would get you up at 2:00 in the morning and get you to do a hard workout. We'd always have a 20-kilo backpack on our back, and we'd have to run for 4Ks and then jump out of a helicopter into freezing cold water. And it was just adrenaline pumping the whole way through. And we had cuts and bruises all over us, and there was no time for like a collection of thoughts or a reflection of how am I feeling. It was just go, go, go. And yeah, when I finished, I was asked, oh, do I want to do that again? And I said no. But then in reflection, the growth that I got from it, I would. Yeah.
Were you scared?
Yeah, in lots of cases. Yeah. The fear of the unknown, right? Especially in SAS, because they're around the mindset of training you so that you think you've got a finish line, but then they take that finish line away so that you have to push through those extra barriers, because you just have to keep going knowing that there is no finish line. And that's difficult. Yeah.
Oh, I take my hat off to you with that. Like I've done something similar to it. I did Outward Bound for 2 months in the Colorado mountains and gorges of Arizona and Utah. And so I've done something very similar to it, where you push to the limit. And in those days, there was no comforts. Like we didn't come back to anything. We didn't have a film crew. We didn't have anything. Yeah. We just went out into the wilderness and learned how to survive in the wilderness. So, but I do remember. And we did solos as well. So, but I do remember having some frightened times. But in the most part, and I don't know, this is how you were. You're in it. There's no time to be scared. You just keep going. It's only when you stop, and reflect that you think, oh, is that how you coped?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there isn't any time, and your adrenaline takes you through. Yeah. It's like that masking of the pain of the fear. Well done.
Yeah. And after SAS, what did you do after that?
What else? Oh, yeah, so I've been the Bachelorette as well.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. That at the time was, empowering, because it was just taking into account all my choices and what do I want in life and in a partner. And so that was empowering, and I'm thankful for the experience again. What else? Like other random shows, like quiz shows and other sort of smaller shows, like one kind of Holy Moly. Yes.
So what then stopped that 9 years? What was the impetus that you said, okay, I'm going to do something else?
Yeah. It was, I think, when I think SAS was the last one, and I only said yes to that one because I knew it would grow my mindset, and I knew it would actually build on my skills and what I wanted to do in the wellness industry, in helping others. So, but I decided probably after the Bachelorette, sometime around there, because I was just in a world of feeling really overwhelmed and anxious and stressed, and I was taking Valium, I was taking sleeping tablets to try and deal with this anxiety and this pressure to be amazing or whatever I thought I had to be, and it was only when I realized, okay, I need something natural to be able to deal with my anxiety. And I booked myself into a meditation retreat. And on that retreat is when my nervous system was like, oh, yes, this is what you need. And so from then on, studied meditation, studied yoga. Then it was just, flowing. All this alignment fell into place, and feeling at home, and meditation changed my life, so I needed to share that with others and inspire others to meditate and help them realize it's a tool to help them navigate this busy, stimulating world. Yeah.
Amazing. So did you have to go overseas for that, or did you do an Australian one?
Like Australian course, meditation course?
Meditation.
Yeah, I did an Australian course. Yeah. here in Melbourne, and then further studied Vedic meditation. It's just a continuing growth in that realm. Yeah. I love growing and personal growth. So
Yeah. So you obviously changed from, doing media, which you did in the beginning, to
yeah.
wanting to help people and to grow your own, I guess, mindset and grow in your own self-development. What flicked that switch? Was it that anxiety and being on Valium and sleeping tablets that flicked that switch? Like usually it is a crisis that leads to something.
Yeah, it was me needing to find something natural to deal with everything that was going on. And then when I found that, my meditation practice, and then being just even around those kinds of people, then I started journaling, and then that was a magnificent tool to get all the thoughts and overwhelm that I had in my head out on paper and into the physical world. And then, it was yoga. And then I started obviously going to yoga classes and being around those people. So just, fitting into communities where I felt like I belonged and a natural me could flourish, really. Yeah.
It sounds like it was meant to be that, you went through all that.
Yeah.
Well, obviously would been quite stressful being on The Bachelor and then The Bachelorette and then SAS. SAS, I think doesn't pull at your heartstrings as much as those other two probably did. Yeah. Whereas, the SAS pulled on your physical and you're more emotional. So you said that you were in the Cook Islands and you were teaching year 11, 12's leadership. Can you tell us what it takes to be a leader, especially when you're teaching year 11 and 12s in this day and age? Because at the moment, if you look at our year 11 and 12s, they're very much influenced by influencers, by social media, by what's seen on a screen but may not be exactly right. And what I'm finding is that our young girls and boys don't seem to have that resilience anymore, seem to compare themselves to other people. And so in order to be a leader in this day and age, what it is that you have to teach those year 11 and 12 students to be those leaders?
Yeah. Well, we took them through a whole array of challenges, from physical demands like going on all-day hikes to building rafts and huts in the bush, to meeting with professional businesses on the islands. And it was just all those challenges meant that they could step up and experience what it is like to be a leader. And they found that it would come down to how they built that respect and trust within the group, that there was really good listening skills and communication, that a leader leads by example, on equal terms as all their followers. I think by them experiencing it firsthand, that they could get a real sense of the importance of being respected by being of trustworthy character and reliable, and someone that is consistent as well.
Oh my gosh, it sounds amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Yeah.
And it's like something every year 11 and 12 should find. And I know there can't be, all chiefs and no followers.
Yeah.
But we have to find those leaders that will lead their peers and communities to what you talked about in the beginning, which was, where we're looking at, it's not just about ourselves, but what every choice we make is about our community and about the planet. So It all seems to just come together so beautifully. So would
Yeah.
it have been respect for their bodies as well? So health and well-being?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that definitely comes into play, like taking care of how they're nourishing their bodies and how they can then best um, lead the group. Even just on a hike, making sure you've got the right snacks and hydration and making sure that you've got the right footwear that's not necessarily nourishment, but a whole array of things that would come into play.
But with footwear, if you haven't got the right footwear, you can't do it. You have to have done the prep, broken your shoes in, or had shoes that are appropriate. So, even though you say it's not nourishment, it is actually nourishment for the feet. I went on a hike with there were 6 girls, and we did a 6-day take everything in with us multi-day hike. And one of the girls, it was her first multi-day hike, and she wasn't prepped on her shoes. But I take my hat off to her. She kept going. She just persisted despite the 20K hikes. She persisted. We kept dressing her feet. But if she had given up easily, then it wouldn't have been the result. So yes, I agree. Footwear is nourishing.
Yeah, so nourishing. And that just brings me to another point to add, the resilience of the kids. Like, they were in it as a team, and they knew they would pull through as a team. So to have that combined resilience and to have that combined support, and then the transformational experience, happened as well because of them realizing each other's strengths and weaknesses, and then working towards like one goal to utilize that. Just them finding out on such a deeper level what that means, and that means as well being really vulnerable, so their authenticity really shone through. And that's why it was such a transformational week for them, because they just connected on such a deep level, and it all came back to them being real and them being themselves, and that was beautiful to watch.
So were they Cook Islanders, or were they a school from Australia?
They were from everywhere, Cook Islands, New Zealand and Australia. So all the cultures came together and in unison, really experiencing each other's cultures too. So they had a song that they had to prepare and dance for each nation. So it really did, just mesh all three.
So not only for year 11 and 12, you also do some wonderful work with adults. Would you like to tell us about what you're doing now with helping people find resilience as adults, etc.?
Yeah, I work with clients one-on-one. So that comes down to people normally approach me if they're lost, or they want to find their purpose, or they feel stuck, if they're going through heartbreak, if something is stopping them from achieving what they want to achieve, like their dreams. They know intuitively there is something greater out there, but they don't know how to get there. So, or there's healing as well. And so I do a lot with clients like that. And most of the time it comes down to them coming into alignment with their life. So if that's changing their career or job, I think most of my clients have quit their job and taken the route that they, feel passionate about. And it always, most of the time, comes down to serving others, because I believe that is most people's purpose. They find the greatest fulfillment in that. But also holistically looking at their lifestyle. So food, relationships, where they live, what they do on a daily basis, like their morning and afternoon routines is really important. So really improving that so that they can be the best versions of themselves and live to their potential, really.
Do you want to give us an example of somebody that's really changed their life around? Because I think it's always good to hear a case study of, how people can change.
Yeah. I was coaching this woman. She lives in Brisbane, and she was a teacher, and she was really unhappy with her job. And she also came to me mainly because she lost her spark in the world. And I think on our first session, she was like, I was watching this woman in the park, and she was just so happy, and I could see her energy and her light, and she was just vibrant in her life. And she said, I want that, but I don't have it at the moment. Oh, I just got chills.
Yeah.
And we had sessions weekly, and she quit her job, is now pursuing her purpose in helping out her community. That's another thing that she really wanted, to be part of a community. And she has so much spark and just so much joy because she does her everyday meditations. She has her gratitude, which she's also implemented within her family with her 2 kids and husband. She also recommended her husband to do coaching with me. So I've coached her husband as well. And so now they have grown together and also implemented those tools that we talked about and guided her through into the family dynamic. And that's made a difference to her whole life. That's something I'm really proud of and so happy to be part of. And
I think people live lives of quiet desperation. And until they know how to get out, or until they realize they're in that quiet desperation, is when they go, what is this all about? Why am I here? What's the purpose of my life? What difference will I make? And the questions keep going on. And I don't often get into these type of questions with people, but what is the purpose of life?
I think the purpose of life for me comes back to being, just being in the moment and enjoying that. Because when I help people come back to that being, because there's everything else going on which stops them from being. So being and serving others, giving, because that giving is that unconditional love of just what is the greatest fulfillment. Giving.
So one of the things that you do is breath work, and the first time I ever did, I was doing breath work all the way through COVID, every morning without fail, because I had this anxiety that was building because nobody knew what was happening. And I had just read James Nestor's book, Breathe.
I love that book.
I just read that and I went, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do that. So I had found a Wim Hof meditation, and then I joined Wim Hof so I could get more of his meditations to do with breath work, and he went through all the breath. So I had started to do that, and it was calming me down and relaxing me. And then Kim and I decided we would go to a weekend breath work. And I'm in the middle of lots of people, and the sound is incredible, and we're doing this incredible breath work, and all of a sudden I start crying. I go, am I crying? What is wrong? Why? And then I can hear people wailing and people screaming and people, what happens? What happens? What happens when we do that creates that, whatever it was inside me? I wasn't sad. I just started crying. But there were very sad people in the room, I have to admit, because there was probably 30 or 40 of us.
Yeah. The breaths that you do invite in the energies or emotions, because emotions are just energies in motion, to finally come to the surface and be released. Because what a lot of people do in this world, because it's almost shamed upon to, if you're feeling sad in that moment, to hide that and suppress it. So what a lot of people do is we suppress a whole lot of things, because there's fear of judgment, fear of non-acceptance, because that's a human being's like main desire is to feel accepted and that unity. So there's so much suppression of emotions. Emotions are only designed to move through us, and when we trap it in our body, then we store it. And the only way to move it on is for us to accept it and feel it. To feel it, and then once it's expressed, it can be released. So then in these breathwork sessions, we really feel it. So we stir it all up, and those suppressed emotions come to the surface, and then they have to be released. And normally, they come with no attachment, and there's no stories or labels really attached to them. So it just is like a wail or a cry that comes out. All very healthy, all such a wonderful opportunity to release that and live more in alignment and live more free. So these suppressed emotions don't collaborate and cause illnesses or diseases, and which they do.
So what I don't understand is that when you're in a group, that seems to happen. But when I was doing my breathwork every single morning on the beach in Mooloolaba, I would do a 10-minute start and then a 20-minute. So it'd be 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is colours, like these incredible colours in front of my eyes. I don't remember.
When your brain gets really active.
It was amazing, like, and all these patterns would go through. But I don't remember that emotion. What's the difference between me being by myself? Well, there was about 3 of us that used to lay together on the beach and do it. And it was pretty early in the morning. Like, we would meet at about 4:30 and we'd be breathing by 5.
Yeah.
And then we'd be finished by 5:30, have a coffee, go for a swim. So that was our routine. And because, you weren't allowed to be with anybody, basically, we would, be one point, like the whole thing was ridiculous, but it was a fear mongering that had happened.
Yeah.
What's the difference about being in that crowd with somebody who is orchestrating it and playing like the didgeridoo and the drums and doing all that, and me just laying on the beach with a couple of friends doing breath work? Does that energy not pass through me, or is that emotion just not there? What is the difference?
I think it comes down to intention. Like when you go into a breathwork session, that's all set up, that the music is there to also invite in those emotions to be released. And I think when you're in that collective energy, and when that energy is, experiencing all sorts of emotions, like the guilt, the shame, the fear, the sadness, and that's shared, because if you're feeling an energy and the person next to you is feeling something, you're going to feel that. You're going to be incorporated within that. And so if the intention going in is to give it your all and to have some kind of transformation, then you're most likely to have a transformation. That's with every intent. And as well, also depends on what kind of breath work you were doing. If you were doing the Wim Hof in a breathwork session, you'll, most of the time, most definitely be releasing some kind of emotion. But if you were more relaxed and not inclined or not wanting and not having that intention of having a huge emotional release, because maybe it was just an incredible way to connect with yourself, your girls, and have a lovely morning to start, well, then, it's not going to be the ideal environment to do that. And I know what you're saying. The physiological side of it, it does change. It does, impact that. but then your intention is there too. So
yeah. And I guess my intention when I started breathwork was to just not feel anxiety anymore. I just noticed that I don't feel anxiety. I haven't, I'm in my 60s. I'd never felt that before until that was happening. And I don't know if I was picking up on everybody else's or what was happening, but I got to tell you, as soon as I started that breath work, especially after I'd read the book, I went, and I said to my friend, we had to meet as pairs for coffee and swim because that's what we're told. So I said to her, this is what I want to start doing. Do you want to do it with me? She said, sure, why not? Let's do it,
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that. Let's just do that to get rid of that. And I have to admit it worked. And another lady that started with us, she was in her 80s and she had atrial fibrillations and she can get them under control.
Yeah. Wow.
And she still does it to this very day, every day. Where we always did it, I've stopped. I do a different breath now. I'm not doing that same one. I don't know. I seem to love something for a while. Like we did it for nearly 3 years. And then I go, right, what am I going to do now? So, yeah. But swimming's always involved in that. And it's interesting watching her. She says, I can always get it under control. I never have a problem. Yeah.
It alkalizes, that kind of breath alkalizes the blood, the pH in the blood. So, and when we have a more alkalized environment, it's when, we lower the disease, we lower inflammation, we boost our immune system, thus increasing our longevity and healing abilities. So it is incredibly beneficial.
Yeah. So moving to the future, what's in store for you, Ali? Like, can you see this growing? What is your dream? Like, by what you're saying and what you're speaking, I'm sure you have a dream of where you want this to go and what you want this to be for the planet.
Yeah. Obviously, I just want the largest impact possible. But like having experienced the past 2 weeks with young adults, it sparked a passion and a purpose within me that I didn't even sort of knew I had, because they're so impressionable and they're at a time in their life where they can literally get these tools of meditation and breath work and learn how to regulate their emotions and nervous system to be able to control their state of being, which will allow them to make better choices and become better leaders and be the future. So that's really excited me, and that's definitely lit something within me. So I think I'll be doing more in that space with young adults, and just sharing breathwork and meditation with as many people as possible. I've got a subscription, a weekly subscription where people can join and become members, and that's for worldwide. So just as many people as I can reach.
How do they join that? Where do they go to join that?
On my Instagram, just click the link in my bio.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really simple.
I'll give everybody that in the show notes.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Yep. So just going back to the kids, because I agree, this is where I think we need to, for some reason, they just don't have that resilience and that leadership skills. Like some do. We've actually not met, but interviewed two young, a male and a female, a week apart. We couldn't believe it. Both 29. One had written a book. One has a podcast.
Yeah.
And the way they were thinking, like you, young, the thinking. I said to Kim, it's almost like that generation, which is your generation, has really stepped up to the plate, has really awoken in order to teach the next generation that's coming through.
Yeah.
So do you see teaching these young leaders, these young girls and boys, as what you did in the Cook Islands, like not just a one-day thing where they come, but where they are put through the paces like you did in the Cook Islands? It just sounds amazing. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Outward Bound.
Yeah.
Because the band was always for the young. You know, I did it when I was 18, 19 was when I did it. I had my birthday. Oh, no, actually, I wasn't. I was 20 because I had my 21st birthday on camp in the middle of nowhere, and the balloon bells. Oh, it was incredible. It had snowed that night. So,
wow.
you know, these are things like, do you see that happening? And can we do that in Australia?
Yeah, more of that. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely more of that. Yeah, in a lot more countries, you know, whether it's not just the Pacific Islands, whether it's Africa and the United States and Australia and just here on the Sunshine Coast. I was just even thinking today, I'm like, oh, I should just get a group of, young adults and start a group here. And we meet every month and come together and discuss what it is to be a good leader and good person holistically, and take them on an experience every month or whatever it is. But it's definitely ignited something in me. For good cause.
So Steve Jobs, who was the founder of Apple, said sometimes we don't know why things happen to us or we go and do something until it's hindsight.
Yeah.
And he talked about a calligraphy course that he did at Reed State. So he dropped out of university. He went to Reed College or Reed State, something like that. And he did a calligraphy course. He says, I don't know why I did a calligraphy course at the time. I got no idea. But he said, I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved the whole script, the whole thing. And he said, and that was the basis behind Times New Roman, all of that. I didn't know this, but he did all of that. He was obsessed with spacing and fonts and italics and bold and non-bold and light and hard and all of that. He was the one who created that. And then Microsoft took that. They basically just copied that from him. And I didn't know that.
Whoa.
He did a calligraphy course. He didn't know why he did it, but he says, in hindsight, I now understand why I did it.
Yeah. Oh, that's powerful.
It is powerful. You don't let it, a lot of people experience things and they don't realize why they experience something, but it's to help them to do what they are to do in life. And I can go back throughout my whole life and see those things. I saw me doing anthropology. I did the study of stars. From the study of stars, I did Outward Bound. I had to know the stars because back then we didn't have GPSs.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
All we had were maps and compasses.
Wow.
And I did the study of words as well. And then I got really obsessed with words, you know. So like, for instance, what does diagnosis mean?
Yeah.
To people who don't know.
Oh, wow.
What does allopathic mean?
Yeah.
All passive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you kind of start to look at these words and you kind of go, well, this is their root. And it's called allopathic medicine, or it's called a diagnosis, and a treatment is treating the mind. So it's just, you know, like treating the mind. So it was through this love of the study of words. And so all of a sudden, in hindsight, I didn't know why I was doing it at the time. I did it because of the lecturer. And the same with you, Ali. Everything that has happened to you, I can see as getting you to where you're meant to be and your purpose in life. And that's what you said. I said, what is the purpose of life? And you said, being.
Yeah.
And it is about being, but being somebody who does have that purpose in their life. And I feel like you've just done it beautifully. I've just loved listening to your incredible story, and I look forward to also seeing what happens, you know, in the future. Is there anything? First of all, is it only Instagram that we can find you on, or is you got a website? Or
I do have a website, but I'm doing it at the moment.
We'll update that when we know more.
Yeah.
And is there anything?
And yes. I just launched yesterday these mantra cards.
Oh.
So I don't know if you can see that.
I can just see it, yeah. Love Light mantra cards. Would you like to read us one?
Yeah, absolutely. So
they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're just inspirational and motivational cards for people to, pull every day. What did I pull here? Triumph with persistence. I find comfort in the uncomfortable, and I find ease on my hard days by remembering my purpose on earth. Oh, wow. That so ties up with what we've been talking about.
That is so what we've been talking about.
And it comes with a little book that I've written as well, and that goes further into the card that you pulled. So a bit more on the card, and also a little action that you can do to fully get the most out of the card.
Would you read the purpose one to us?
Yes. Please. So there's no long-term comfort in comfort. It's a place of stagnant lack. Abundance occurs in uncomfortable times, which provide your biggest challenge. Hold in your heart a sense of assurance that hard days are given so you can become better. Your reason why and purpose are the greatest motivators to get you through the good and not so good days. And the action is boil the kettle and enjoy a cozy herbal tea. Write down the latest hurdle you overcame and what growth you experienced from it.
I love it. Would you like to give one away to our audience?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
So what if they get on your Instagram?
Yeah.
And we'll send a link to them. We'll send a link. They get on your Instagram. They like your page.
Yeah.
And share in order to be in the running for a to win
a mantra card deck. Yeah.
A mantra, and then you pick the winner, and
I'll send it out.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool.
All right, I'll make sure we get everything to them, and we'll have a special one of your posts that they go to do it with. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Actually, I was going to do one today, so
perfect. We'll do that with your new. It looks wonderful.
Look at this in flow.
It does. It really does. Yeah. Now, anything else? Any words of wisdom for young people who are listening, or someone who's stuck in their ways and is trying to find a new way to do it?
Well, listening to their gut intuition, just really just tuning into that and following it and trusting in the universe. What are those signs? Oh, then they're there for a reason. And as soon as you start trusting your gut and the intuition, then the easier life will become. Yeah.
It's interesting. I had the newspaper opened yesterday morning. I was having a coffee, and my husband and I did the crossword together, and I kind of had it opened up. He was getting the coffee, and I was just kind of flicking, and I'd stopped at a page, and there was a woman in a really bad state. She had been bashed up, an older woman had been bashed up, and a man stopped. And he pointed at her and he said, "This is disgusting, and those people will get off." Yeah. And I looked at him and I went, "No, they won't.
Yeah.
They won't get off." I said, even if the police don't do anything, or, no one else does anything, what will happen is that they will live a life that is less than happy and fulfilled and having the things that they want. And they'll be sad, not happy, and they'll think of lack, not plenty, and they'll think of this and that. And the guy looked at me and he goes, "I never thought about it that way." Sometimes I think we've just got to think differently about what is happening on the planet. And realize that the only thing we have any real, I guess, power over is ourselves.
Yeah, it's so true.
We don't have power over our boyfriends, our husbands, our kids, our grandkids, nothing.
No control, no, not at all.
We have control of ourselves.
We do, yeah, and those choices, and that's amazing. Oh, I love that. Yeah. When you navigate the world, and when you're being positive in your energy all the time, that positivity or love's going to come back. The karma, I believe in karma.
Yeah. Ali, I've absolutely loved this. I don't know, it softened my heart. I always love being around you. I think that you have the most incredible energy. In a way, it brings tears to my eyes that somebody like you is out there and helping other people, especially our youth, our year 11 and 12s. I see so many issues there with them at the moment, and to know that you're out there and maybe you found your you already have found your calling, but maybe even greater calling in order to help these. And, on the Sunshine Coast, there's lots of them. Yeah. And if there's any way that Up for a Chat can help, I will be there. Kim and I'll be there beside you.
Oh, amazing. This chat has been, so empowering. It's been, nice to reconnect with self and also speak to someone so inspiring like you. And I take my hat off to you and everything that you've done. And it's such a pleasure.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/The Wellness Couch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives. Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.